Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's special, The Huddle. Why is it special? Because it's one of my favorite topics. It's Nerd Week. Nerd Week. Nerd Week. Nerd Week. Nerd Week. Nerd Week. I'm doing my little nerd dance. You can hear the snaps, but yeah, I'm dancing because it's Nerd Week.
It's the Carlton, actually.
Basically, because we are on a high from the Avengers, and by a high, I mean best fucking comic book movie to come out, we are just going for it, man. We are going to talk Nerd Week. We are going to give some Avengers spoilers because our good friend here, Jason, hasn't seen it yet.
That's right.
And basically, he's going to be the guy who asks questions about it, and we're going to be the fillers. Let him know what's what. Let him know why we think it's amazing. Let you guys know why, if you haven't seen it yet, you should have seen it. Like, they've already done close to 500 million, and it's not even Monday. Think about that. It came out on Friday. That means if you haven't seen it, you're probably part of the 2% who hasn't seen it. Screw you. We're going to give spoilers. Now, as you know, my name's Matthew, at Matt Scorpio. We also have here Jason.
What's up, people? Just Jason as usual. At JJNBA, all letters.
And we got our resident white guy, Zach, a.k.a.
AKA what? I have too many names nowadays, man.
Just say it, since you don't have a Twitter.
Lumberjack, Epic Man, it's all the same. Hills Creek, that's another one. Anyway, finally, a fucking topic I can relate to.
Nerd Week.
It's Nerd Week. Talking about those nerd snacks.
Nerd Week. Nerd Week.
Gonna get it on. Alright, time.
Skew. Skew.
Watch out!
It's a trap!
I'll catch you next time.
Hulk smash! Alright, let's get into this. Nerd, weak.
I don't believe that power level is accurate to portray the power that Thor has when he has the Infinity Gauntlet.
I'm quite sure Thor was a level 20. If he was a level 20, he could do the Thunderbolt on the Empire State Building. It's quite possible.
How many of those guys did you see at the movie theater when you went?
Actually, none. There's only a few.
There was a lot of sexy chicks. I have to be...
yeah, there were like a few of them know what they're talking about, but then there was like the few of like the annoying like
I saw some titties.
like the girlfriend, like the non-nerd girlfriend, where they're just always asking questions and shit like that. You know,
Thank God it was a sitting beside. I would have killed her.
Yeah, like the thing is, to me, that is the exact fucking same as bringing your kid.
Oh, for the record, guys, yeah, we are talking about our midnight screening at Avengers that we went to.
Yeah, we should probably get that out of the way. Anyway, spoiler warning for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Yes,
but,
spoiler alert. They made damn near close to 500 million in 24 hours. If you haven't seen it yet, too fucking bad for you.
Yeah, it's been out for 2 days, and it's the Avengers. If you haven't seen it yet, you do not deserve anything. Like, not even...
We're not going to spare you. Jason here hasn't seen it yet. We're not sparing him. Too bad for him.
Fuck.
I hope the next time you get drive-through, they spit in your face.
And your food.
Yeah.
Alright, now back to what we were saying.
So to me, like that kind of girl, everybody knows it. Like, the nerd girl we'll talk about afterwards, or it's not even a nerd girl, I mean, 21st century. Everybody's in this generation has grown up with that shit. But there's always that girl, it's like you want to go out with your friends, the girl wants to tag along, has no idea what's going on, probably didn't see any of the other movies, because, like, let's face it, Avengers is a sequel to 5 movies. And the entire fucking time this is going on, I'm overhearing this girl next to me like, who's that? Is he hurt? Who's this guy? What's his name again? What's he doing over there? What's going on? And suffice to say, I wanted to throw her down a few aisles of stairs, but...
I would have helped.
But the reason I think this is wrong, because to me this is the exact same as bringing a whiny baby to a restaurant. She has no place there.
No place.
Do not let her ruin it for everybody else.
Get her the fuck out of there.
I say it's the guy's fault who brought her there. Educate her first on the movies that she should be seeing.
Definitely.
And then
he only had to say one thing. Ask the questions after the fucking movie.
Yes. But not only that, look.
Put the fucking candy down.
Look, shining example. My girlfriend, who I brought to the Avengers, who isn't a comic book nerd, I made sure knew the movies leading up to the Avengers.
Yes.
We watched both Iron Mans. We watched Thor. We watched Captain America. She read a Thor comic book. She knew what the fuck she was coming to. This is what you gotta do if you're bringing a chick who you know isn't a comic book chick to a movie about comics. Because women cannot think about those comic book specifics because they don't know that shit. It's not a fucking romance movie where everything's laid out in stone in every single one of them the exact same way. Do I need to elaborate on that? Maybe I should. Two people, they know they want to fall in love, but they're not quite sure. Something tragic happens that makes them want to fall in love. Oh no, they're finally together, but someone has to go away. Usually the guy, usually to war, or usually the girl. Maybe she's sick. She's going to the hospital. She has cancer. But they still love each other anyways. Something's going to tear them apart. Parent, ex-boyfriend, the disease, the war. Either way, it comes down to these things, and what happens in the end? They end up kissing in the fucking rain. Point is, that's not what happens in comic book movies. So you gotta make sure they know their fucking stats before they come in. Because it ruins it for guys like us, the nerds.
What it sounds like to me is she just educated you.
Oh!
You may have brought her up leading to Avengers, but she totally gave you the lowdown right before you went
We
to
have actually
Notebook.
never watched a romance movie together. This is just standard knowledge that you can find on Google.
Chivalry is dead, people. It's dead.
I will smack you with a white glove.
I don't think chivalry's dead. Chivalry is on reserve for women who deserve it.
Rose before hose, but ladies first.
I agree. Because anytime you find a chick that's actually worth chivalry, you give it to her. And it's my girlfriend.
You know what? Baby steps. First, let her know what comic books are. Let her know how things work. And then, common courtesy of theater, save the questions for after the show. Don't rattle your fucking Skittles during every quiet scene. We know who you are.
The best way to tell if she's actually going to be able to follow the comic book movie is if she asks you, how does she read a comic book? Because if you give her a comic book and she has to ask you that question, you know you're going to have a lot of explaining to do. It's really not that hard to read a comic book. Start from the top, and you go to the right.
I mean, these movies, all the movies are pretty well made. There shouldn't be that many questions, but just it's the same thing. It's the same thing as bringing a crying baby to a restaurant. It's ruining it for everybody else. And damn you, I know you're trying to be a good boyfriend, or maybe you're just weak, and you're that guy who, in your group of friends, you have like 7 people. Girl had to tag along, and everybody's rolling their eyes, and they're like, "No, it's gonna be cool," and then it's totally not cool. Not cool at all.
Anyways, we're kind of just venting right now.
This is why I don't go to the movies.
I kind of want to go see it a second time.
They're
just
sluts.
Just because I know that bitch isn't going to be
Let's
there.
get into Avengers, man. Let's start some spoilers. I think it's time. Right now, Epiman is drinking out of an Avengers cup that we picked up at the theater because we didn't want to pay for the extra large drink. That would have been like
Jesus
$8 fucking bucks. So thank those, I guess, losers who left them behind. We brought them home, we cleaned them, and we kept it for ourselves.
They don't understand greatness.
They don't understand greatness. But they took the toy that was on the top. I don't understand that. They take the toy at the top but leave the cup? It's a package deal. Like it's a combo. You don't ask for a combo and then leave the fries behind. You eat them. What the hell is that?
Well, this is from Wendy's. Then you don't.
Yeah.
Starting to wish this was a superhero story. Drink a shitty bottle of wine out of an Avengers cup.
That's how it starts, huh? Hey, Tony Stark was a drunk.
That's true. They should have touched on that a bit more. But I know with the rating system, the second one, I know they tried to.
Well, he did ask Loki if he wants a drink.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But I have to say,
let's start it off. Let's start it off with characters.
this is the best, and you can quote me. I said this on my Twitter account, and I'm saying it again. This is the best comic book to movie adaptation that has ever been made, and that includes Nolan's Batman. I've said it before, and I'm saying it again. This is on the internet, so it's final. I can't delete this video later and it go away. It's final. I said it and I meant it. And the reason I mean it is, I'm going to go real deep. When you watch this movie, imagine yourself reading a comic. What you read in the comics and the pictures they show you, the actions in between, is what the movie gives you. That's why I think it is the best comic book to movie adaptation. Without a doubt.
We're gonna be nerdgasming all over this mic. Jason,
Dude,
you're gonna have to.
I've already jerked off twice just thinking about Black Widow. Like, you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
My pants, they got some stains in it, man. Ugh.
So devious.
So devious. Ugh.
Horrible.
She's the kind of girl you can never trust, so you're always gonna have to restrain her first.
But at the same time, it's like, it's good. Because you're going to try and lie to her, and you're going to fail. But that's what's going to turn you on. That's what's going to make you rock solid.
Isn't that what basically the definition of rape is?
Whoa. What?
That's what you guys are saying.
What?
You said you don't trust her, so you have to restrain her. That's exactly what you said.
No. Mentally.
Now you're saying mentally.
But, dude, we're talking about Black Widow. Everybody, if you don't know Black Widow, she's like a spy, a Russian spy that works for S.H.I.E.L.D., but she has crazy abilities in being able to tell people secrets. Which is why we said you have to restrain yourself, because obviously meant mentally, because she will figure out everything regardless of what you say.
No, I don't even think you can rape Black Widow. If you try to, because like not only will she kick ass, but like basically she would want you to, because it'd be some part of like some greater scheme. She doesn't fail, man.
She would see me and know instantly I want to bang her.
See, this is gonna be hard. Jason hasn't seen it because he's a fucking punk. And
we told him. Too bad for him.
He was marathoning Care Bears instead of going to see Avengers.
2 against 1, man. 2 against 1, and we win. But yeah, I really loved this movie. Like, I thought it, from every single character, and even the fact that they went in depth with the Hawkeye. Well, not quite in depth, but they showcased Hawkeye and Black Widow's relationship.
Well, yeah, for the first time them ever being like lead characters, I think they gave them pretty fair screen time.
Exactly. Like, you saw what made them worth being in the movie. Not so much that they were a connection of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that they were their own individuals and they had their own history with each other and amongst themselves that made them worth being there.
Yeah, speaking of which, big ups to Joss Whedon, not only for just the screenplay and directing, but actually fighting to get a 2.5 hour screen time.
2.5 hours
movie
of badass.
Yeah.
Like, I just came again. So fucking good. Like, so good.
And they finally got the Hulk right.
You know, hats off to them for doing what they did. Like, I was kind of skeptical because they took out Edward Norton, and I was kind of on the rocks because of what he did for the second Hulk movie and bringing it back.
Yeah.
And then seeing what they were going to do with the new actor. I can't remember his name right now.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, there we go. And I was kind of like, what's going to happen? You know, like, because I already had the Edward Norton image of his persona of Hulk, and then to have it just switched over in the Avengers, I wasn't too sure I was going to go, but I feel he did a great job. And wow, if there's one character that will impress you, it will be Hulk, because they gave him emotion, they gave him persona. Like, it was great to see him on screen.
Well, the thing with Edward Norton's Hulk is I never believed that Edward Norton was a scientist. Mark Ruffalo I can believe as a scientist. Yeah. Edward Norton, he just comes off as like he's pretending.
Because the only unfortunate thing was the fact that they always had him on the run.
Yeah. Edward Norton he seemed more like a passerby who got caught in an experiment, whereas Mark Ruffalo seemed like, you know, a scientist who fucked up and he has to live with that mistake.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and the thing they do really perfect is like the persona of not just Hulk but Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, when they're just like bouncing off each other as two scientists rather than Iron Man and the Hulk. It was, you know,
two geniuses. It was
Bruce Banner and
in
Tony
a room
Stark
together, being geniuses, like plain and simple. Like one trying to outsmart the other, or one trying to downplay themselves to the other, and just seeing two great minds that know way more than they need to know, bouncing off each other like you just said, and just showcasing what they are.
Stark's such a troll. I love him.
Oh, he's the original troll. Like 100%.
Fucking stabs him, looks in his eyes.
Oh, you got this under control. That was a little movie reference for those who've actually seen it.
You know what? Just fucking turn off the podcast right now if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, really. Like, I know you're listening because you want us to give you the juice, but we're not really going to give you the juice. We're just going to put in little Easter eggs here and there for those who've actually seen the movie, like Puny God. For those who've seen the movie, they know what that means. And the rest of you are going to be like, what the hell is he talking about? Hulk, you smash.
Let me ask you guys a question though. So can he control the Hulk now?
They have a really nice reveal about it. It's kind of like it's
because we saw in the second Hulk that he could kind of like control.
He figured out how to trigger it.
Yeah, he figured out how to trigger it, and the thing was like they play on both sides of it. There's a time when he doesn't trigger it by his own will. That's when Hulk is like an uncontrollable monster.
Yeah,
and that's what everybody knows. Loki uses that to his advantage, but like afterwards. You only right up until the final act, you learn how he controls it, and it makes for like one of the best reveals ever.
It's a great line.
Yeah.
Should we say the line?
Yeah. Well, fuck it. Okay. So like, what happened? Like that giant worm thing that comes through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Let's call it Leviathan.
Leviathan. I always thought it was the world serpent, but there's more of them, so it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, he comes up on his little moped to the big man, and he asks like, "You want to know how I always keep it under control?" And he just like walks up to like the thing as it's coming right at them, and he's just like, "I'm always angry," and he just turns into the Hulk and punches it in the face.
He says he's always angry?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. If he's always angry, he can control like whether to go that extra step, as opposed to always just trying to be serene and then just having those spikes.
Because it's anger that triggers the Hulk, or pain. Those are the two things that will always bring the Hulk out. So if he's always angry, he knows like he just has to get to that extra step of fury, and boom, Hulk comes out.
So he's like angry to a certain point of this not triggering.
Yeah, he's just like, and he kind of shows it like towards, he's fed up with everybody. He's not always like on guard, but he's just kind of like,
it's because everyone tiptoes around him so much that's pissing him off.
Yeah,
because he knows he can control it, but because everybody's like, wait, can you control it? And they're always grabbing their guns when he's around. Like, I don't know.
He just has fun with it.
Yeah.
Like, there's this great scene with him. Black Widow comes to him, and he just like, he pretends to be super pissed just to see what she would do. She pulls a gun on him.
Pulls the gun quick and has a little bit of a glisten in her eyes.
Yeah, she's fucking shit scared of him.
It's funny.
But that's Hulk, man. You gotta be scared of Hulk.
Yeah, be scared. Yo, this guy goes toe to toe with Thor.
Well, obviously, Thor did it. Thor get his ass kicked. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
no,
We're not gonna go that far.
no, that was probably the best fight. That was one of the best fights.
Yeah, it really was one of the best fights. Besides Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America in the woods.
That was a good one too. The little scuffle.
Yeah.
What about what's his name? For Hawkeyes.
This is good. We'll just have the newbie just ask questions. And
ask us anything you want to know. We're going to give it to you. Okay, Hawkeye, we're going to tell you right now. Hawkeye
this
is like an ask me anything on...
Does he have like his trick arrows and everything like that?
Oh, of course. You got to have Hawkeye with the trick arrows. But what they did really well with Hawkeye was to get the understanding of Loki, they used the connection of Hawkeye with S.H.I.E.L.D. Because in the beginning, when Loki comes, nobody knows who the hell he is. And he just comes through kicking ass. Rather than killing everyone, he does a little mind control trick with his scepter, and he grabs Hawkeye, basically like takes control of Hawkeye. And then through Hawkeye, you get to see everything that Loki's trying to plan out. Well, not everything to the detail, but you see the steps of it and basically like other people that he had captured and where he was going with it, you know? Yeah. So then with Hawkeye being under Loki's control, you got a real sense of how powerful Hawkeye was.
Yeah, like they were like afraid of Hawkeye because they knew he was working for the other side, and like there's this like he orchestrates this big attack on the helicarrier, and it's just like him and a handful of guys take down like the helicarrier,
like literally.
Yeah, and like his whole accuracy, because there's that Hawkeye comic, I think it was like Spider-Man had a guest appearance in it or something, that just explains Hawkeye's character perfectly, and just like he just has like this one monologue. Or I think Spider-Man asked something like, so you never miss, huh? And he's like, I can't. He's like, I'm on a team full of people who can do like extraordinary things, like who like far better than I'm a human. If I miss, then who am I? I don't deserve to be a part of any of them. Mm-hmm. And so the whole thing is like he never misses, and you see him calculating his trick shots. Like he'll point an arrow, he'll aim like way to the left, look back at his target, and fire, and just like let the wind do the rest. And he comes right to it. It's fucking
amazing.
So good.
So how long is he under control for? Like most of the movie, or just
about half?
About half. Yeah. When he comes,
because it's like early on, like maybe third or fourth scene that he gets controlled, and then right after that, it's like he's there till about halfway, or yeah.
Okay. Sick.
but it's good. Him under the control was good.
No, I actually really like the whole Hawkeye Black Widow thing. It's like they can both kick each other's ass, and you've seen what Black Widow can do in Iron Man 2, and like you see her a bit more in this one, just kicking all kinds of ass. And like Hawkeye is kind of
sexy as hell doing it.
Yeah, Hawkeye is very much like the male version of her. Like Widow is more like the spy. Hawkeye is more like the assassin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the support assassin type of thing.
The sniper.
How did Thor get back?
He comes back.
How?
Yeah. That was a sweet reveal, man. When the lightning storm kicked up, I knew exactly what was
and
happening.
you're just like, Loki's like, you're afraid of Captain America goes to Loki, what, you're afraid of a little thunder? And Loki, in the sweetest way, just says, no, I'm more afraid of what comes after. And then, bang, comes in Thor.
Because Loki comes in, the whole thing is like he wants to conquer, the human race. He has this whole scheme going on. And he goes to this like really rich ball, gets a whole bunch of people to bow before him. Captain America comes in, and Iron Man saves the day, and then Loki just like surrenders. So you obviously know something's up. Loki doesn't surrender. Yeah, unless he's playing
it's to
else.
The point where it's my whole plan is completely done.
Yeah,
he doesn't just willingly give himself up to people he could have easily beat the hell out of.
Yeah, he's living for a long. He's always got. That's the whole thing with Loki. Like no matter when he surrenders, it just means he has another plan.
Okay.
He goes with them on the ship, and you see a thunderstorm kicking up. Thor pops out of nowhere.
But how?
That's the thing. Like you
gotta remember.
Because I seen the movie.
The bridge is broken.
But at the same time, remember that he is Earth's protector.
Mm-hmm.
So if Earth is under attack by anything that they can't handle, Thor can come in and intervene with Odin's power.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he makes a little quip about like how much energy did Odin have to use to send you here. So, like, to show that like it was serious, that like
Odin, the Rainbow World did get destroyed. Like Odin was the reason
they only sent Thor back.
Okay, that makes sense because I was like,
it's not like, hey, Rainbow World's destroyed, but I can still get here. No,
it was like it was like a big deal to send him back, which means he had to use a lot of shit. But that was always a great thing because like so he takes Loki off, like seeing what's happening, and then Iron Man and Captain America want to get him back because it's like, look, you can't kill him or send him back because we need to know where the the cosmic cube is. That's the whole thing. Loki's after.
But didn't
Tesseract.
But didn't that like disappear with
Red Skull?
Yeah.
Well, that's the
remember at the end of
it dropped in the bottom?
Yeah, in the end of Captain America, they did find it because they were able to trace its energy signature because it was still. Because it had just recently got used, it was still emitting
Howard
power.
Stark found it, and it's been in Shield's hand ever since. That's why at the end of Thor, you see like the Doctor, like Nick Fury, shows him, and he's like, "Can you help us?"
Yeah.
And so they're all after that because it's all the shit that they can do. Thor's coming in to see what Loki's up to, and he's trying to get the Tesseract back to Odin's throne room, his treasure room, whatever.
Yeah, the treasure room.
And the thing is, like, it's from his treasure room.
Yeah, because that's where it was stolen from. Okay. And Captain America and Iron Man want to like get it back. They don't know what the deal is with Thor, and so like it turns into this great scene in the woods where everybody's like a misunderstanding. Like Thor's like like fuck off, let me do my business. Iron Man's like, no, he's coming with us. So they get into a scuffle.
Pretty nice fight.
That was a pretty sweet fight.
Who was the best out of all of them? Iron Man, probably.
I still say Thor because like
I think Thor because at the end of the day it was like Thor only decided to really start using his hammer at the end.
Yeah,
but. He hits Captain America's shield, and it just puts off this huge explosion that wipes off all the trees. And they're all standing there like, "All right, so should we talk?" They're just kind of like, "I see what you can do here, so let's think about this a bit."
it was a great dynamic because like with Thor, like he's Earth's protector. He doesn't really want to flat out kill any innocents. Like he's redeeming himself for all the shit that he's done before. But with these guys, it's just like. Thor's just unstoppable, and like Iron Man in his suit, and there's this like great little scuffle between them. He's shooting him, and Iron Man headbutts Thor, and he's just like kind of chuckles. He just headbutts him right back.
He goes
fucking sends him flying. And because like the whole thing with Captain America's shield is it absorbs energy, so no matter what you throw at it, it'll absorb it. With Thor's hammer being what it is, and it just fucking everything explodes.
Basically explodes.
Yeah, that was good.
And how's Captain America? Is he like a good character? Oh, not a good character, but like, is he like a strong character?
They showed pretty much like what his comic book persona is supposed to be. His superpower is leadership.
Yeah,
like that's essentially.
It's not even to say like he was just there giving orders. So like he actually, like he fought and he kicked a lot of ass. but he's a born leader. It's what he does.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. Like he's the bravest of them. He's the one who's self-sacrificing. Whedon from just his time spending with as a writer for Marvel knows all these characters inside and out, and he really played to that. And I thought that was perfect because one thing I was surprised to just to take a sideline was how much it felt like the Ultimates. The Ultimates being like the when Marvel decided to reboot all their franchises to go from characters that were made in like the 60s and 70s.
Make them modern.
Yeah, to make them modern as if they were created yesterday.
But isn't that what all the movies are based on?
They're loosely based on it. And the Ultimates, which was the first of this reboot, was the Ultimate Avengers. And I was actually quite surprised at how much they took from Ultimate Avengers, is like everything down to the Chitauri. That whole cell with.
You drop it basically. Yeah. If Hulk goes crazy.
And just everything it felt really good, and that's why reading, as Matt was saying, you're reading these panels and these action sequences, and if you're putting the in between in your head to get the motion in, this is exactly what this movie does. There's a fucking flawless scene of during the epic encounter where they do a no-cut shot of just what all the guys are doing throughout the city. And it's straight out of a comic book. It's straight out of your dreams, and that's why not only nerds are going to be jizzing all over the place.
I just came again.
I hardest nerd on by far, and not only that,
I'm nerdgasming, man. It's great.
But if you can't appreciate it, even as just an action movie or just a movie in general, because the writing is fucking solid.
It's phenomenal, man.
It's Joss Whedon. This guy never does any wrong.